welcome to The Appointment. I'm Shireen Bhan, and we're in conversation with the newly appointed CEO of AMD, Lisa Su. Lisa, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. Congratulations on taking over as the CEO, and congratulations on completing 10 years for AMD in India. So how does it feel to be here?
Oh, thank you so much, Shireen. It's fantastic. It's been a wonderful couple of days, really an opportunity to spend time with our teams and really have an opportunity to get to know, India and everything that's going on here.
So speaking of everything that's going on here, the Prime Minister has made it his passion to invite companies to make in India. I understand that you are going to be meeting government officials. What's the plan? Your competitor came to India, explored India, then there was grey areas about the policy at that point in time and decided to go elsewhere. Is Make in India an option for AMD?
No, really, if you think about what's going on in India, it's extremely exciting, and the Prime Minister's agenda is extremely exciting. From an AMD standpoint, we are absolutely investing in India. We have over 1,000 engineers here. It's an opportunity to design and really manufacture. It's really an opportunity to explore what's going to happen over the next 5 years.
So what can we expect? Because as far as R&D is concerned, and India plays a very, very important part as far as AMD's global R&D force is concerned. A lot of your new products, Kaveri, Kabini, are named, are Indian names. So
I'm so proud of you that you know our product names. That's like fantastic.
So what more can we really expect in terms of the kind of investments that you put into the country?
If you think about how R&D started in India, and even for AMD, it was really as an opportunity to supplement our global workforce. Now, when I look at India and what we're doing here, it's really an opportunity to innovate and really create. And because the Indian market in and of itself is so interesting, I think there's an opportunity to really create Indian-specific parts, for this market. And really, as you said, the digital infrastructure is a clear growth area. This is our opportunity to contribute to that.
So go beyond engineering and innovation to actual manufacturing as well.
It's possible. It's definitely possible. And the key for us is to, really align with what's important in the market. We want to be an innovator. We want to be creating those next-generation applications that are important, for this market.
How important is India as far as the global strategy is concerned? Because you're facing pressure at this point in time. It's not an easy job for you. The sense one gets is that your strategy is really going to be to find newer markets where you're not head-to-head going up against Intel. How crucial is India going to be as part of your global strategy?
That's a great question. If you think about AMD, we've had a history of 45 years as a company. And as a company, we have, really, grown up in some sort of, competitive environment. But when we look forward over the next 5 to 10 years, the technology is changing so fast, and the opportunity to innovate is really there. For me, I look at emerging markets like India as really a land that's really untapped. The fact that we have engineering here, that we have sales here, that we have marketing here, and we have a growing economy, those are all recipes for success.
But what would it take for you to actually manufacture out of here? And I gave you the Intel example because they came, they weren't clear about the policy at that point in time. We now do actually have a policy in place. The government is making this big effort to try and attract foreign investors to set up manufacturing facilities in India. Would that make sense for you?
I think it makes perfect sense for India to set up these manufacturing environments. For us, we're doing very advanced technology, so we definitely want to partner with the government as well as local industry to see what are the opportunities for us to do more here.
But you're not giving me a clear picture on whether in future we could actually see you look at manufacturing from India.
Anything is possible. And as I said, over the next 5 years, as the market grows, the opportunity for our types of products will grow even more. And we tend to be at the very advanced portion of manufacturing, so we would like to see how things develop over the next few years.
How much do emerging markets contribute? Because I know you don't give a break-up geography-wise in terms of revenues, but how much do emerging markets contribute to AMD currently? And what's the India size looking like at this point in time, and your expectations going forward?
It's definitely one of the top markets for us to grow. And if we look at emerging markets in general, if you put China and India together, these are some of the largest growing markets for us. When I look going forward, I think I see even more opportunity because semiconductors, our business is really at the heart of innovation. When you talk about the Prime Minister's agenda around the digital infrastructure and how we move the technology and the broadband infrastructure, all of those need our types of devices. And the capabilities are really there to partner more closely with the local industry as well as the government.
So Let me talk to you about the challenges that you face today at AMD since you've taken over as CEO. You've decided to cut your workforce by about 7%. This is after the 15% cut that was announced in 2012. I understand this recent cut is going to result in a savings of about $85 million. What is this going to mean in terms of your workforce in India, and how significant will the workforce in India be impacted on account of this global cut?
You know, very important when we think about our industry, in the technology industry, is we need to be constantly evolving. So the market is changing, both globally as well as in technology. We also need to change. You know, restructuring is sometimes viewed as a bad thing. It's also for us an opportunity, you know, to rebalance our skill sets and rebalance across geographies. So, you know, we've said actually that when I look at the important markets, you know, such as, you know, India, there's really more opportunity for us to grow here, you know, than anything else. There are certain other areas where we had too many skills. And so it's really an opportunity for us to balance as we go to our new strategy over the next 5 years.
So are you done with the rebalancing, or do you believe you will need to do more in order to rebalance and put the company in a place where you believe it's going to be ready to take on the strategy for the next 5 years?
You know, we have said that our restructuring activities will mostly take part in this fourth quarter. And, you know, when I look at it, I'm really playing for the long term. All right, I view AMD as an opportunity to really be one of the top technology companies in the world, particularly driving emerging markets. So there are, you know, lots of things that we need to do, but the key is to be, you know, build a very solid foundation, invest in the key technologies. You know, that's why the investments here in India are so important. And then also, you know, build incrementally over time.
So what is going to be the change in strategy to gain market share as far as AMD is concerned? And I've been reading comments, you know, analysts who've been tracking the company who seem to suggest that perhaps your predecessor did not anticipate the way that Intel was going to go after the market that you were successful in capturing, which is really the cheaper, low-cost laptop market, in a sense, the notebook market. What is going to be the shift and change in strategy as far as you're concerned? You
know, the most important thing for us as a company is to differentiate and innovate, okay? You know, my mantra to our entire team is we are here to build great products. That's what drives growth in a technology company. You know, when we look at the market, there is a shift from, let's call it lower cost, let's call it entry-level devices, to devices that add a lot more functionality. You know, we are like the graphics leader in the world. We can help visualize many, many new applications, and we need to play into those strengths, and that's where I'm going to focus.
Okay. You know, I don't know what heterogeneous system architecture design or any of that stuff means. I'm not even going to claim to try and understand that. I know that
I am impressed that you mentioned it. Okay, that's impressive.
Okay. So I understand that you're available on the PlayStation, the new PlayStation. You're available on the new Microsoft Xbox. What more can we anticipate in terms of partnerships as far as AMD is concerned?
Yes. So, you know, the key for me as we look forward is we can build extremely deep customer relationships where there's something that we can offer to the market that can't be done anywhere else. With Microsoft and Sony, that's what we did in the game consoles. We were able to really create a unique product to make the next generation game consoles. You will see us in many more of those types of devices.
So that's going to be a big area of opportunity. The game console business is going to be a big area of opportunity for you going forward?
Game consoles, anything with graphics and visualization. You know, if you think about a picture is worth 1,000 words, there's many, many opportunities to get 1,000 times better in those areas, and that's what we can do.
You know, the smartphone market in India has seen an explosion. 300 million internet users by the end of 2014 is what is being anticipated at this point in time. Is this the most exciting market that you're seeing globally today?
You know, the smartphone market is a growing market, and it has grown over the past few years. You know, the most exciting market for me, though, is the set of interconnected devices. So if you look at the projections going forward, by 2020, there will be 50 billion interconnected devices. And they're not just phones or PCs or tablets, but it's everything. You know, your cars will be connected. Everything in our home will be connected. Those are opportunities for us to use our technology, and frankly, I think those are the most exciting opportunities over the next 5 years.
You know, speaking of exciting opportunities, I read transcripts of your analyst call where you talk about the fact that you've got 2 design wins that could contribute about $1 billion over the next 3 years, starting 2016, but you didn't give any more than that. So give me a sense of what this is going to be about.
You know, I like you a lot, but I'm not going to give you more than that. No, I'm just kidding. This is, again, what I said about where we're going. It's really about differentiating and innovative technologies. When we partner with companies that really make the market, it really is an advantage for AMD and our customer. So we do have a couple of new design wins. We announced them on our last earnings call, and it really is, again, an opportunity for us to showcase, our technology. So we'll give you more information as we get closer to production.
But given, everything that you're putting in place at this point in time, in terms of market share, because if I was to just take a look at the numbers as far as the PC space is concerned, almost 95% of revenues in the PC processor space going to your competitor, Intel, and about 6% to you. So how much do you believe you're going to be able to better on that performance?
I do believe that over the long term, we have a lot of technology to offer. And, the key for us is to focus on the places where we add value. There's some parts of the PC space that are not as attractive because they're not opportunities, good profitability opportunities. We need to be choosy. We are the smaller competitor in this market. Actually, that doesn't bother me. I view that as an advantage. That's something that we can do to be much more nimble and able to react quickly to the market. We're also much more flexible with our customers. So again, being the underdog is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
We use it as a way of motivating an extremely motivated team.
So if I could read between the lines there, I would imagine that you're then looking at going after specific niches, so you don't want to be everything for everybody.
That's absolutely right.
And what would those niches be, besides the ones that we've already spoken about?
Well, there are a couple of areas that we view as growth opportunities, actually particularly here in India. Commercial opportunities is one of those areas. We've been very successful in some of the large government bids here. That's something where, again, our technology was able to satisfy a specific need and requirement. I view that as a growth opportunity for us going forward. We've actually doubled our commercial design wins over the past 6 months. So those are areas where, again, AMD's technology will be able to differentiate and add more value to the customers.
I want to ask you, because the government has sort of put together this plan of digital India and smart cities and so on and so forth, and the nuts and bolts are still being put in place. So we're not really clear about the final architecture and the design that these projects or these plans are going to take. But in your experience, and I want to tap into your experience as an engineer, what would you suggest? What do you think the government ought to be looking at this point in time?
Well, I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Actually, it's really exciting to see that agenda really come out over the past few months. And the best thing is to start with the broadband infrastructure, of course, and I know that there are many experts here in India defining that. And as that broadband infrastructure builds up, then we can connect more and more devices to that infrastructure. And the key is, each one of us today, we don't have 1 or 2 devices. We probably interact with 6, 8, 10 devices. That's growth. That's growth for electronics. That's growth for personal productivity. And that's growth for the economy.
Speaking of growth, and specifically growth in India, are you looking at any sort of inorganic opportunities to enhance the capabilities here in both Bangalore and Hyderabad?
The talent here is absolutely incredible. Actually, if there's one thing I can say about my trip this time, is just being able to really interact with the engineering community. The talent is incredible. We'll always look at inorganic opportunities as well as organic opportunities, to grow. Particularly in emerging markets, the closer we are to the market, the closer we are to the customer, the faster we can react. So that's going to be a key priority for me.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a break. When we return, we continue our conversation with the CEO of AMD. Stay right there.